Good afternoon and welcome to Seniors Count. I'm your host, Greg Jocelyn. On our show, we believe that you are the foundation on which Boston was built. So our goal is to connect you to resources, benefits, and information to enhance your life. Thanks for joining us today. My guest today is floral designer Lisa Stevenson, owner of Fox Gloves and Ferns. She's here to demonstrate festive things you can do to create a decorative home this fall through the New Year's. So thank you so much for coming here, Lisa.
Oh, thank you. Nice to
have
see you.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you're going to do for us today in terms of decorations?
Sure. Well, I'm going to try to explain to you how easy it is to celebrate the fall and into the winter and bring some things from outside inside to decorate your home.
Wonderful.
And what I've tried to put together is small steps that you can do now so that you're ready, because we all get busy. And it would be nice to have some things ready, ahead of time so that you don't have to rush doing that when you're rushing doing everything else, cooking, and I know everyone makes a lot of food. So.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely easy, simple, something to prepare because the seasons go by very quickly.
Yeah, it seems, once the kids are in school, you're running. So
you are.
I think that we'll start with, I brought some greens in, and you can find things like this, either in the park or at the store. And what I like to do, either on a mantle, a lot of my friends say how great it looks when I bring some things inside. And I have to say, I don't spend a lot of time arranging them. I think it's more just bringing some nice things from outside and putting them out.
Definitely.
Instead of looking plain. So you'll see these grasses on the side of the road. They're actually, I'm kind of lucky that I have a spot in my backyard that I can get them from. But
they looked almost exotic to me when I first saw them, but they're just it's a
they're
common.
They're actually a weed.
Yeah, it's a weed.
But you know what? They look good for this time of year. When I work on an arrangement, I tend to stick with groups of 3. Okay, that's something that designers learn off the bat. And if you see, you just put them together like that.
It's fantastic.
They start looking nice, and then I picked up everything that I brought with me today. I picked these up at Michael's. They were on sale this time of year. A lot of the fall things are already 50% off. And I love real pumpkins, but these last year after year. So once you invest in a few of these little berries and pumpkins and things, you can use them year after year.
You can reuse them. That's definitely important.
So if you just take a few like this,
that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And so if you didn't have a mantle, is it, where else could you do this?
This would be if you had a little buffet table or a sideboard. That size is just about it. Now, my daughter and I picked these out, and we couldn't decide on red or yellow, and I have to say I like both. But what I would do, because they don't look very real, the first thing I do is take off some of these edges
you're very smart, yes.
That look suspicious.
Exactly. So
And
I see. Yeah, definitely this thing.
Yeah, they look. That's what's going to catch somebody's eye when they're looking at it. I would love to bring in something real, leaves and so forth, but they don't last, and they get brown and crinkly, and that's not going to look good.
And could you put something like this in a window as well?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do that with the windowsills. I put greens and. See?
It's such
see
a good
how
idea.
That sticks out?
Yeah, that you don't definitely.
That's got to go.
It's a little thing, and it makes a huge difference.
You can keep something like that. Save every part. Don't throw it away because you can use it somewhere else to bring out the color. Okay, let's see this piece. Just don't want to. Oops, daisy.
It's a nice way to recognize the season and observe them, because I feel like they go so quickly that you just forget about fall's gone. So this is a nice way to create a reminder.
Right, and you could put this on
you
could put this on your table. It's not going to ruin the furniture. It's very dry. It's very easy.
It's
I also
perfect.
brought in, I think everybody knows these berries. These are bittersweet berries, and they pop open to have a little red center.
Oh, yeah, that's
And they're
so
all
sweet.
over the place. You can just pick a few, and when they open, they're going to look really nice. Just stick those in.
It has a transformative element to it, which is
Yeah.
really nice.
So there you have,
Gorgeous.
October. It's ready to go.
Yay.
Yeah. So then when you're moving in closer to Thanksgiving, I thought we could change it out a bit. You can probably take away some of the leaves.
Okay.
And I put these together. This was all natural. I just spray painted it with gold.
It's really smart.
And I saw it on Pinterest.
Oh, Pinterest is a
I
great
recommend
website.
everybody to check out Pinterest. You'll be, making things left and right.
It's wonderful.
But
It's
I
a
find-
great site to share ideas.
So if we can just put these in, put a little,
Yep.
stay.
Oh, so here we are. We're transforming into
We're heading
Thanksgiving.
into Thanksgiving.
It's a very simple
It's
change,
very
but also a
simple.
very dramatic change.
We have to make sure we spell it right.
Okay, so this is. Okay.
I know we're spelling it. Whoop, that's one over, and now we have the K.
Great.
So there we have Thanksgiving.
And so I like that you use the popsicle sticks, because that's it's a great way to
that
reuse
was a last
something.
minute. I thought, well, how am I going to get them to stand up? And that was sort of a last minute thing. I happened to have some popsicle sticks, and I used a little tack, so it's pretty easy to do.
It's very simple.
It doesn't take any, time at all to do that.
Wonderful.
So now
it's great. And
we're going to
so
be moving on.
Perfect.
Okay.
We're going through the seasons very quickly this year.
We are. Now, these are one of my favorite decorating items. We need to take out the pumpkins.
Take out the pumpkins.
Just put them on.
Yep.
We'll take away the leaves.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the grass because the grass tends to stay. And what I really like to do are these wooden cranberries, and you can get these at a
that's
craft
so
store.
nice.
But I don't know. My mom used to do stringed cranberries, and they were real for the Christmas tree.
Wow.
But I find that really hard to do.
So this is a really nice way to.
Yeah. So we can
So you don't
just
have to
string
worry
them
about
around.
preservation.
String them around.
You could also do this for Thanksgiving as well.
You can. I tend to do sort of a little combination of Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to move too much. I'm going to kind of just leave it out. And I might put in a few other greens that are a little more interesting. And
Oh,
then
I like. What are these greens called?
those are boxwood.
Boxwood.
Yep,
Oh, they're
I
very
have-
beautiful.
A bunch of that. And then I really like pine cones. And these,
Oh,
not
wow.
only do they look nice because they're interesting, sort of put them in the center. Sometimes I like the bigger ones. These were the only ones they had. I think we're a little early in the season for
It is a little early.
buying pine cones.
So, but you're ahead of the game, so that's great
Yeah.
at least.
But the other thing is that these smell, the
They smell-
cinnamon.
yeah, it's a
just,
cinna-
it really freshens your house.
Yeah, and
that
it's
time of the year.
uplifting.
So this is pretty easy to do. Right? Have we done anything?
Yeah,
You catching all this?
it doesn't feel like
It's
we
not-
have.
Sometimes I'm like, wow, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think it's more daunting thinking about, oh, we have to decorate this year. But I think that this is, you can keep it very simple. You don't have to
can,
decorate your
you
whole
can.
apartment. You don't have to decorate your whole
I
house.
find if you just have one little spot, on
Right.
the entryway when people come in and, you just have some, I
Right.
like the pine cones that are on the
Oh, that's
branches.
very
These
special.
are hemlock branches.
Right, and I think that also, we're going to move on to the centerpiece for the table as well, but that's a really great way to think about keeping it in one spot. So it's just a friendly reminder of, just celebrating the season.
The other thing that makes a centerpiece look more professional. Now, if we're heading into the fall, we have some ribbon.
And where would you Do you put it? Oh, you're gonna take a couple, so.
Yeah,
Just
so
put it
I
on the
might put one
ends?
over here and one over there.
Oh, that's
And
very
they
nice.
just, they jazz it up.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And I'll show you how you can make a ribbon. If you're at the craft store, I think, you know, you don't want to have to buy them. You can make them yourself. You just buy some ribbon. I always cut it on the edge. Watch this, it's really easy.
I was gonna say.
It's really easy. They're so expensive to buy and they're so easy to make.
Well, that's the thing. Just there's so many, and especially on Pinterest, there's so many different ways that you can, instead of buying, you know, a you know, tied ribbon, you can think about ways to make it yourself.
This is stuck.
Ooh, let me
There,
help you.
put that down. Okay, so when you come to this part, you want to wrap it around. This is a wired ribbon too.
Okay,
The
good to know.
wired, yeah, the unwired ribbon doesn't work. So you take a wired ribbon and then you pull it as tight as you can, absolutely tight. And that tightness is what will cause the bow to form.
And
Got
you're probably
that?
used to this because you're working with flowers all the time.
Yeah, I have to make, you know, when you make corsages, you have
You're
to do
making
a ribbon.
corsages, that's fair.
When you're doing a bouquet, some people want ribbons still. You know, it depends.
But I can tell once you get the hang of it, it's very simple.
And the nice thing is that the wire makes it all
Right, I
stay
can tell
put.
that, yeah.
So when you're done, you want to poof out all your loops.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh wow,
So then you have a bow.
fantastic.
Yeah. So you can put that there.
There's also, I saw someone, they were packaging, just using normal ribbon for a present, and instead of, to have a bow, they actually just pulled it out a little bit more to make it,
A little more fluffy.
to make it more
Yeah,
fluffy, and I've
yeah.
never seen that
Yeah,
before. That's instead of buying that, because they sell that puffy.
Oh yeah, you should. It's
Yeah.
better. You know, you have plenty of things to spend money on.
Yeah, exactly.
Things that
So-
you're going to throw away. You
Yeah,
shouldn't
just to
spend money on.
think about ways
Yeah.
you can make it yourself.
So, where do we go with this centerpiece? Well, this either a mantle decoration. You can then, if you want to get rid of fall, you take out the grass.
Would I get rid of this for
I would
you
leave
keep
the
that? Okay.
greens, and this is exactly what I do. I leave the greens, and I'm sure sometime in January, you know, everything's pretty crispy.
Yes.
But it looks fine, you know.
It ages well.
The greens stay green throughout the holidays,
Perfect.
so they're good. Okay,
Wonderful.
and I would take off. You know, either keep the cranberry or take it off, but it just depends on
yep.
what you're working on. But for
Great.
now, all of this is fairly neutral, so that the only thing you would need to change, if you wanted to go for a different look, say into this.
Oh wow, that makes just a pop of color.
Yeah. And again, I really
That's so nice. I really like the sparkle, the
the
glittery.
sparkle just lightens it all up, and you can put this on your table,
Yeah, that's a very special.
and you're all set. Or you can put this on a mantle, and I think that you know, fills the space really
It
well.
does.
So we can go
So
into
transitioning.
Hello. Let's see. Here we have,
Another variation. Yeah.
and it's just the bows that we're changing.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
So you can go, you know, if you're having a party, you put the bows
That's a
on,
good idea,
and
too.
everything looks so much nicer.
Or if you're just, you know, if you want every week, if you want to just change the ribbon, you could do
do.
that as well.
I do that.
Yeah, just for fun to keep
Okay,
things
and we have
interesting.
one more ribbon change. And this would go
Fantastic.
take you right into New Year's.
Oh yes.
And
I
what I
wonder-
would add, you know, coming into the winter, something
Ooh,
like
that's
this
very
is really
nice.
sparkly.
Glitter is always important, I feel like.
I like it too.
And so I was going to ask too, is there any way that you could hang this on a wall? I mean, could you mount it
Well,
or?
you could hang it if you wanted to wire everything. If you wanted to take some floral wire, actually this
oh,
wire,
This is floral wire.
you can wire it together and make a swag.
Oh,
to
okay.
hang, maybe put it on a wire hanger, and you can hang it from the windows.
Oh, okay.
Either from the top of the window if you have curtains, or just from the little lock on the window.
Definitely.
And it looks really nice.
That's
if you have
special,
a dining room and you want to really deck it out, you make a few of these swags,
Yeah.
and it's looking really fancy.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. But I think that when you can, you know, just add a couple of things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Keep the wires underneath. You know, you want things
To make sure to hide the,
clean, so
yeah.
people aren't, you know, feeling like they're gonna poke their eye out while they're eating. But
Let's hope not.
yeah, so that's
Wonderful. Thank
yeah,
you so
that's
much.
that. So now we'll move into making a bona fide centerpiece.
Yes.
And you're going to be
Fantastic.
doing this.
Hooray.
Okay.
So would you like me to just move this out of the way or move it up
Let's-
front?
Yeah, they'll take the ribbons and everything this way.
Okay.
Okay, I know that we all like to call the florist and ask for a centerpiece, but honestly, you can do it yourself.
That's exciting.
Okay, so we're going to start with, this is a block of Oasis that's been in water, and you can
Okay.
pick this up at Michael's.
Oasis is wonderful. I
It
mean,
is. It's a florist's best friend.
Yeah, it is. You don't have to worry about water. I mean, it's just a contained block of water without the mess.
So we're going to start with these greens, and I always start with the greens first.
Okay.
Here you go. And we're just going to clip them and stick them in the Oasis around the bottom.
So at the, right here?
Yeah, about 3 inches or so.
Okay. And then so just sticking right in
Try
at the
to stick
side?
them in the sides.
Okay.
Yep.
See, it's fun because you can create almost like a sculpture with your
Oh,
plants
yes,
and
you can. I made a sailor's valentine for a Books in Bloom show that we did at the library.
Oh,
and I just took a
wonderful.
whole bunch of Oasis and left it out flat and put the flowers in a circular pattern, and it came out wonderful.
It's a great idea. Simple things you can do.
The trick to the greens really is just that we're trying to cover the Oasis.
Oh, we're trying to cover the Oasis.
Because we
Good
don't
to know.
want-
I think I was highlighting the Oasis.
Nobody wants to look at that.
No.
Okay, so you keep filling up
Yeah,
the
especially.
Oasis as much as you can. I'm just taking lots
All right.
of greens. And I'm going to start working on the flowers.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're going to start with some fall colors. These
Those
are some
flowers are
roses that I
so
got at the
nice.
grocery store. Nothing too fancy, but I love roses, so I try to always work with them.
Yeah.
When you buy roses, the outsides might be a little bruised or damaged. Just pull the petals.
That's a good tip,
I'm going to
actually.
make this a little bit shorter. And when you have a big block of Oasis like this, it is intimidating. But just remember you're starting to work on a triangle.
Oh,
So
okay. And what do you
top-
mean by that? Okay.
Top, side, and side.
Okay.
And you're going to keep it linear to keep it organized.
Okay.
And you have to keep remembering that while you're working on it because it gets
Now,
busy.
is this too far out in terms of, or how far do you usually extend these centerpieces?
Sometimes if it looks like it's far out, then I just break it.
You just take it off.
Yeah. And you want it to be covered, but not poking somebody's food.
Right. We don't want that.
Okay, I have some yellow. This one's broken.
And would it help if I added some more flowers? Or?
I think you're doing well
Okay,
on the
so
greens.
you want me to add,
See
continue?
this area over here?
So I'm continuing
you have
to
fill that
cover
up,
it, yeah.
or it won't look right.
Yeah, because as great as Oasis is, it doesn't have the best aesthetic look
No.
on its own right.
I can't imagine arranging flowers without it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
I don't know if you
'cause
remember when I
it
was here in the
stops.
spring, when I was going into the MFA,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want anything but Oasis because they didn't
Right.
want water spilling all over the museum.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So this is a Peruvian lily, and to get the most out of it, I pull the flowers off so they're individual,
Gorgeous.
and then you can fill in your spots.
It's also really important, I think, as it's getting colder, to go to the grocery store to get flowers like this, so that way you can have a little bit of spring
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
cold, dark,
Absolutely.
dreary.
I actually, on the way here, I saw a man walking with, he had an orchid in one hand and a big flower arrangement in the other
Oh,
hand. And I
wow.
thought, oh, he must be going home to give somebody a very special treat.
I'm sure.
So we put this in here. You have to keep working on this.
Now, I need a little bit more.
We have to just fill the oasis.
Where did you? Where can I get more of this? So that way I can. Yeah, perfect. You have a trunk of endless supplies of greens.
Yes, you have to have a lot.
I like the fact that you can bring your workshop with us.
The greens are going to fill in so that you don't need as many flowers, because the flowers are what are so expensive.
Exactly.
So,
that's the thing.
You'd be surprised, some of these arrangements that you buy, you're really only getting 10 or so flowers. You're not getting as many as you would think.
Right. That's the crux of it all. So it's good that you come with your trunk of tricks, because it definitely inspires me to start decorating.
This is another flower that you can pull down and pull apart to get more stem.
And normally you wouldn't necessarily even want a flower like that. That's sort of just an extra.
These are extra, yeah, you just buy them when you buy a mixed bunch.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look for a little bit more of that.
What are you looking for?
Oh, just to cover the oasis.
You like the boxwood? Okay. Here's some.
Okay, perfect. And can I use this as well to?
This one's probably done.
Okay. Because I didn't know if.
Yeah.
Well, you use some of these for the.
We have all of this too. So as you've noticed, I'm using a lot of evergreens, and the reason being is that they're not gonna go bad. They're gonna stay this way throughout the season.
But I
So
also.
you probably can get a good month out of your evergreens as long as you keep them wet in the oasis.
Of course, and the smell of them.
Oh, I know.
The one thing too that I like about this is that it also has a very natural feel to it. It doesn't feel too manicured. So I like that component of it. It's very nice. So.
Okay. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I feel like I'm inspired. Like, as I said, I'm going to go out and
look at this. This
purchase
is a
all of these things.
beautiful lily.
Oh,
and that's going to open
that's
up
your centerpiece.
so nicely. Okay.
Wonderful. So here we are. This is our work in progress.
Yes, you'd fill in the corners here and there. But what I also do to make it look like a centerpiece is you just take some long tapered candles and you fill them in.
Oh, that's a great idea. And the oasis will take them very well because.
Absolutely. So I usually do
fantastic.
1, 2, and then 3.
Fantastic.
Maybe do these a little bit lower. See, I can just push them down.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for
You're
coming here to
welcome.
provide
You're
your tips
welcome.
again. You're our
You're
flower
welcome.
correspondent here on Seniors Count, so I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you joining us.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching Seniors Count, brought to you by Mayor Thomas M. Menino and our Commissioner Emily Shea. To contact us at the Elderly Commission, please call 617-635-4366. You can also call the Mayor's 24-hour hotline at 617-635-4500. You can email us at elderly@cityofboston.gov. And as always, you can find us on Facebook. Hope you have a great afternoon.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself,